Welcome, Chrispy, to the BB Disney Aftershow.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Yeah, I know this is a interesting part of the experience, of course. And before we get diving into everything, which I'm definitely looking forward to, the first question we always like to ask is, what was your favorite part of the BB Disney experience?
Um, my favorite part, I think I would just say like my favorite part was getting to become more acquainted with people I had heard of in the community. People like Adam and Grace, like I have seen around and I have mutual friends with at least Grace and a little bit with Adam too, but I've never been able to interact with them personally. So that was really nice, finally being able to actually get to meet them and talk to them. So and I it's a very basic answer, but just in general, just meeting all the new people that I hadn't met before was my favorite part.
No, that's a great answer. That's definitely, a lot of people's reasons for playing games is connecting with people and just seeing the adventure it takes you on.
Yeah.
So my next question for you is, why are you here in jury now and not still in the game?
That is a very good question. I I don't really know. I thought I was playing well, and I thought I did what I needed to do to get to get myself further than what I got. But apparently, there was a misstep along the way, and I don't necessarily know what the misstep was, which is more confusing than anything. So yeah, I guess I don't necessarily know why I got voted out, truly. But yeah, so there's that.
I guess. Um, is there? I don't really have like specific questions, but is there anything that you know, I don't know, like what are your thoughts? What are your perspectives? Like, what did you see happening, or
So,
do you think you had like the right alliances when you need that kind of stuff?
well, clearly I didn't have the right alliances because I really thought that Robert, and this is going to sound rude of me, but like I'm not even going to really like put Victoria in the part of the conversation because like I feel like a lot of this was Robert's move. There was a little bit of Victoria's opinions that I thought were really stupid that for as to why I went up. So, okay, let me just backtrack, I guess. Um I got nominated by Robert slash Victoria, which was a huge blindside in and of itself because I was extremely close with the both of them. I was in an alliance with the both of them. And then live night happens, and I did everything I could to try to save Victoria. I tried to rally the numbers to get Angela out. It didn't work. Um, so Victoria ended up going. And then the second part is the final noms are Robert and Rose. And through the hustle and bustle, it's like I couldn't scheme to save either Robert or Rose because they were both in my alliance. And I have a closer friendship and relationship with Rose. And literally everybody was coming to me telling me that they were all voting Robert out. So like what am I supposed to do with that info? I'm not going to put like a target on my back and like make my relationship with Rose weird by just putting a vote on her for no reason. So I voted Robert out, and they obviously came back and like they kept talking to me about how much they still wanted to work with me and all of this stuff. Um, so I thought I was good when they won, and then they sent like, and then and then they sent me this whole long message about how I was being nominated. And the reasons that they gave me were just because of how I interacted on calls with people and my personality. So I was like, oh shit, I went through this spiral of like, I feel like did I do something to upset somebody? Like, did I say something to upset them? And so I felt like really badly about myself because like I feel like my personality is like what I take pride in the most in these games is because I'm a friendly and approachable person. It would be something if they said your social game is really strong and you have really great connections with people, so we can't beat you at the end, versus that's just how you like interact with everyone on the call. So I was like, okay. So I'm asking people, I'm like, did I do something? Like, what's going on? They're like, no, you've always been great. I'm like, okay, whatever. Um, yeah, so and which was really unfortunate because like I, especially with Robert, I was very, very close with Robert. Like I opened up to him about like a lot of personal things that have nothing to do with the game. And I kind of feel silly for doing that because like I felt comfortable and felt trust and felt like I could trust him. And I feel like he really took that trust and just like kind of threw it away. And it was unfortunate. Um, and as soon as I went up, it seemed like everyone had made up their mind that I was going to be the one to go, which was really annoying because it was like I was already fighting a losing battle, and I don't really know why or how I got into that position where it was like, well, Crispy's going. Um, I mean, I tried. I did what I could to try to stay. Like, I fought tooth and nail. I had so many different conversations with the people that would actually respond to me versus people like Molly and Ingrid and Evan who barely even acknowledged me as soon as I went on the blog. So I was like, well, okay, if Grace stays on the block next to me, there's a slight chance that I'll stay. But then as soon as Rose was the replacement nom for Grace, I was like, I'm done. I'm absolutely done. So here I am.
Yeah. Well, it is lovely to meet you here. And you definitely are a social person, me from watching from the outside. So I was, when I knew I had to interview, I'm like, oh, I'm sad I have to interview him. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, I get to talk to Crispy, which my autocorrect several times in my prod chat says Chrissy. I'm sorry. I don't know
No,
why my phone kept doing that. I know it's
no,
Crispy.
you're not the only one. You are not the only one.
So no, so it seems to me just from your what you were sharing that as a member of the jury, you do get to help select a winner for season 8. It seems like maybe social game is probably a big factor for you, or is it not? Like, what are you looking for from
No,
someone towards the end?
yeah, it's extremely important to me. I think your social game is I honestly think the social game is the most important part of like any game, whether it be Survivor or Big Brother or whatever game you play. I think it's like your relationships and how you talk to people and how you interact with people. Sure, you can like be this like strategic threat and like make all of these big flashy moves, but at the end of the day, if you play the game where you disregard people as people, then I'm not going to give you my vote. Or the same thing if if you're a comp beast and you go on an immunity win spree and you do that and that's your only thing that you did throughout the game, like I have a hard time putting a vote for that. So yeah, so social game I find very important, and I also take a lot of stock in how I am sent to the jury. So for the people that ghosted me and completely ignored me as soon as I got on the block, if they're at the end, they're going to have a really hard time getting my vote. Just because, like, I think that's extremely disrespectful. Uh, and like they say they're all playing to win. Like, don't you know that jury management is also a thing? Like, if I'm going to the jury, like, aren't you going to want me going to the jury feeling good about you? I don't know. That's just me. But
No, I understand that. I played last season myself, so I was in a similar boat. Just wanted to like how I was sent in. I mean, yeah, it definitely plays a big factor. So I definitely I am actually really excited for your round table. That's going to be great with your fellow jury members. Was there anything from like your fellow members that were there before you or coming in after that you learned and you're like, oh, maybe it's something you didn't realize or
um, I think like I think it wasn't really until Ingrid got added that things started to kind of click. Um, that I thought I had a lot of really good relationships, but it seemed like I was never anybody else's number one. It seemed like I was mostly like two or three to people. Like Grace and Trevor were each other's number ones. Andrew and Rose were each other's number ones. Adam thought Grace was his number one, and Molly and Robert, and Evan and somebody else. I don't know, but there was like people like I don't know. This like the whole the genetic makeup of this cast was really, I think, for me, was not like the greatest, because like there was no way I was ever going to come between like Andrew and Rose. Like I know I was always going to be second fiddle to that duo. So I kind of thought that like Trevor would be my person, but that kind of bit me in the butt because people knew I was close to Trevor. And then same thing with Grace, like I was almost guilty by association. So I tried my best to like make connections and relationships outside of like the people that I already knew. So I really tried to get in good with Robert and Molly. And I thought I was, but I'm going on a tangent and I forget your question now. But I don't think it really clicked to me that I wasn't like in a game sense, that I wasn't as close with the people that I thought I was close with, if that makes sense.
No, you did go on a tangent, but you got the question. Basically, I was just like, oh, with people coming into the jury or those that were there, did you learn anything that maybe you weren't aware of? And you got
So
there.
yeah.
But this
Okay,
is your time. You can literally share whatever you're thinking. So no worries.
Yeah, we
No
got
worries.
more.
Yeah. So I do have another question for you. This one's kind of a fun one.
Okay.
Another member of Prod suggested this one. I've been asking. It's just, I love just hearing everybody's takes. There's no wrong answer, of course. But if you could compare your game to a Pixar movie, which one would it be and why?
To a Pixar movie. Oh my gosh. I got to think about this. It'll probably be different than what my favorite Pixar movie which is Up. But I would probably say like Inside Out, because it was hard for me to like navigate a lot of my emotions and feelings in the game, especially around the time that I was nominated. Like, I don't know. I was like hopeful that, you know, I could stay, but at the same time I felt like really afraid to talk to people because like I was afraid that they were going to say something that it was in fact my personality, which is why I was nominated, and it made me sad, and then I was really fucking sad and angry when I got voted out. So it's like, just like, I feel like I went through like the gamut of like feeling all of these different emotions and like having to navigate all of that within the span of like 2 days and manage my real life on top of that was a lot. So yeah, I think I would say Inside Out.
Gotcha. Oh, that's a perfect example of these games. Like, real life gets in the way sometimes, but I
Yeah.
understand it can be, great, not so great. It's a lot. It can definitely be a roller coaster. I get that. So,
Yeah.
but no, from my outside perspective, you played a great game. You were very social. And I think, yeah, you do definitely have to be social in these games for sure. Is there anything else that maybe you thought of or anything else you want to share with us?
I don't think so. I mean, uh yeah, like I'll be curious to see like like what led to essentially my downfall in the game, because I still don't really know, and not anyone on the jury really seems to know what exactly happened. But I'm just holding out hope that Rose can pull this out and that she can make it to the end, because I think she's the only one out of everyone that's left that deserves it. So that's my thing.
Were there, this is a totally random question that I just thought of here. Were there any comps that you were like, oh, I love this one? Like any, what was your favorite comp that you got to
Oh,
do?
I love the attack, defend, repair comp. I think that's
Mhm.
it's a very clever, and I think it's a very fun comp. Yeah, I really liked that one. I thought the stacking one was really fun. In the moment I wasn't having so much fun with it because I was too focused on like that was a comp that I needed to win and I didn't. But I was very fucking close. But thinking back on it, it is a fun comp. Um, I wanted to be around for more trivia comps. I was bummed that I wasn't there for any trivia. So yeah, because I'm not like a Disney adult, I would say, but like I grew up in the 90s and watched a shit ton of Disney and Pixar. So like I know my stuff. So I feel
Yep.
like I would do really well in trivia if especially if it was
Mhm.
about Disney and Pixar. So so I was bummed that I didn't get to play a trivia challenge, but it's okay. It's all good. I got to play two other ones that were fun. So
Mhm. Oh, that's yeah, no, and I think us, 90s kids, like, yeah, that was our jam. I mean, personally myself, I was 10 when Toy Story came out, so I feel like I grew up with that franchise.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
things like that. So, no, that's
yeah.
awesome. But no, I'm so glad you were part of this cast. You were
Okay.
definitely a joy to watch. And I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts for roundtable and to see how finale night goes.
All right. Sounds good. Can't wait.
Oh, yes.